Hello and welcome to the Aaron Holtz audio podcast. It's just me today, and I'm just going to give you guys a quick review of a film that came out last week. I'm sure you've seen it, or I'm sure you've seen the trailers for it. It's The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man. My opinion on it is I thought it was pretty good. I've seen it 2 times now, and there was a reason behind that. It wasn't just because I was bored. Well, maybe partially. The major reason why I went to go see it again was there were parts that I think I needed to understand better, or perhaps, I guess, I was just tired the first time. I don't know. But here's my review. I thought the film was pretty good. I thought Marc Webb once again was able to convey the emotions between characters, definitely between Peter and Gwen. You definitely understand that Peter Parker is going through a lot of crap. But on the other hand, I feel as if the characters that weren't Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker, and Aunt May just weren't that great. The villains weren't very interesting, especially the Green Goblin. More on that later. And I felt that Electro's character could have been used a lot more, and he could have had a bigger story. And I do wish he had more of a connection with Peter Parker's personal life, because that really hasn't been addressed yet. I'm sure they're going to address it in the third film. And it's going to be a whole, array of bad guys. And, hey, Peter Parker, your past is coming to you. I understand that it's going to happen. It's inevitable. But for the sake of this film, as it being a film by itself, on its own, trying to not have sequelitis, it does take away some merit from it. It's not Spider-Man 3 by any means. I personally don't think Spider-Man 3 is that terrible of a film, but it was disappointing. The issue with Amazing Spider-Man 2 is it tries to do too much in terms of building up a world, and it doesn't really want to tell its own story. Instead, it's kind of like, oh, hey, look, oh, don't worry, you'll see more of this next time. Don't worry, it's just a teaser. The entire movie was like a one giant teaser trailer for the Sinister Six and Amazing Spider-Man 3. Now, to say, are there things I enjoyed about it that weren't just characters? Yeah, I thought the action was pretty great when it was there. I thought the opening sequence with Spider-Man stopping the Rhino, the pre-Rhino, was spectacular. And it had this cheesiness to it that I really liked. The score by Hans Zimmer was fantastic through and through. I was humming the theme song for a good 3 to 4 days before I started going crazy. I have to say I did like Electro's score as well. It was weird. At first, I was like, I'm not sure about this guy. I'm not sure about if this would work as a theme for a character, but it totally did. And the dubstep was perfect for the situations and the action scenes. It just kind of revved everything up. I also thought the 3D was pretty spectacular as well. There were sequences that just kind of blew my mind. Things flew at you. Things like sort of pulled you in. It was very visceral, and the cinematographer of this film did a fantastic job in terms of trying to embrace this gimmicky trend and make it into something kind of artful, but also suck you into the movie and make you feel like you're swinging with Spider-Man. Then there were instances that the 3D wasn't working. That was the opening shot of the movie where Peter's parents are trying to escape from imminent death, and they're on this jetliner. Plane starts going haywire, and we have this intense shaky cam. Oh my goodness! I thought I was going to barf. That's how intense it was. But besides that, the majority of the film looked great. I wasn't dizzy or anything after that. But there was one other scene, and this was a key scene to the movie, and I felt that it was horribly done, and it just did an injustice to this character, and that's Harry Osborn transforming into the Green Goblin. This entire scene starts off with he and Electro teaming up. They go to Oscorp. Electro does this cool, like, manifestation into electricity thing where he travels through outlets or any power core. Freaking awesome. Loved it. And then Harry forces one of the guys that works at Oscorp to take him down to the R&D lab and give him a serum because he's dying. Okay. Well, the biggest issue with that is I really didn't expect him to just all of a sudden become the goblin in that same scene. He literally gets injected with the serum, and then he falls to the ground, and the guy leaves like, okay, sorry, you're screwed. He turns on this emergency breaker, and it literally becomes a rave of strobing lights for the next 2 minutes. And watching it in IMAX in 3D, I thought I was going to roll on the ground and have a seizure. I was like, how can I enjoy this? This looks horrible. So it's like strobing blue, red, yellow. It's literally like Harry Osborn is just at a rave all by himself. Whatever. But of what I could gather from the 2 times that I kind of squinted at this sequence just because it was hurting my eyes so much, was he crawls to the glider in the suit. Okay. I understand they gave you like a small hint at, I don't know, midway through the film. He finds the suit in his dad's little thing that he gave him. More on his dad later. His dad gives him like a little USB thing. It pops up, shows all these files. There's a file that shows a suit and a glider. They literally show it to you for mere seconds. So I guess we're supposed to understand that he's able to use all this stuff and use it well. That's what I don't get. Like, can I just hop on one myself and have immense strength and do all these crazy flying maneuvers like he did in the movie? Who knows? Maybe. But he gets in the suit. It does this transformer thing, like gets into his skin and drills into him. It would be much more effective, once again, if I could see what the hell is going on. You know, I can't enjoy him becoming the Green Goblin because it's so stroby and so horribly lit that, you know, it wasn't necessary. You can just have an alarm go off and then have it change to a certain color. That's okay. I don't care, you know, but it was just too much. So he becomes a goblin, and for some reason the serum that he was injected with gave him crazy Super Saiyan-like hair and teeth, and I don't know, whatever. Norman Osborn, yeah, a complete waste of time. Clearly, he will be back for the 3rd one. He dies. Yeah, sure. He's like, hey, Harry, so you suck. I want you to be mad so you can become the villain at the end of this film. Blame everything on me. See you soon, kid. That's what we're left with. And then he dies. And there was this weird sort of medium shot of his hand, and they were straight up goblin fingers, and that was weird. It just did not fit the rest of the film. I was like, wait, hold on a second. So he's becoming the Green Goblin is the Green Goblin's a disease now? Like, it was weird. Biggest gripe of the film. Moving on to more positive things. Spider-Man's suit was great. I love this suit. It had this, I don't know, comic vibe to it finally. Definitely better than his last suit from the first Amazing Spider-Man. He doesn't look like a ballerina anymore. It's awesome. I thought Aunt May was great in the film. Some of the supporting cast, there wasn't really much beyond Electro, Goblin. There's a portion in this film where Electro is kept in this like cage type thing in Ravencroft. Ravencroft is this facility, kind of similar to Arkham Asylum, I guess. But in this film, it's a big hidden ploy to make the Sinister Six. Ravencroft is there just to build these suits so they can be sent to all these baddies, and they'll fight Spider-Man in the third one. Once again, building more stuff for another film. So, yeah, we meet this guy, Dr. Kafka. I thought he was a pretty cool character. He's a little minor role, but he's this German guy, and he's kind of creepy, and he's kind of obsessed with Electro. Pretty cool stuff. I liked it. Very small, minor character, but Electro gives him a little revenge towards the end, so that's fun. Talking about the end, final sequence, we got like a two-parter. Starts with Peter, or Spider-Man, fighting Electro. Very awesome. 3D was great. And then we go to the Goblin fight, which only, I'd say, lasted 2 to 3 minutes. The Goblin was literally in this film for about 3 minutes. And the way he gets knocked out is pathetic. He just gets hit in the head, boom, done. And Spider-Man is faced with a grave situation, and it's something that we've all were very sure was going to happen in this film, and that is, spoiler, Gwen Stacy is killed by his hand. I will say it was pretty emotional. I felt Peter's pain. It was sad, and I feel like it was done very well. The 3D once again helped convey that even more. You can feel time kind of slowing down. As Gwen Stacy is falling, you see the cogs and all the small pieces of the clock tower just falling down with her, as if time is collapsing, and Peter needs to save her. It was all, I liked it. There was a lot of things in that scene that was deep and very well conceived and directed. So we lose Gwen Stacy, and then we have kind of like this messy ending of the third act, where she's dead, and Peter just stands at her grave for about 3 minutes, another 3 minutes, and that's it. That was really the only thing that we saw, and a short funeral scene, which I'm sure was a lot bigger, and they spent a lot of money shooting it, but whatever. So she's dead. Spider-Man's not Spider-Man anymore because he's all depressed that his girlfriend's dead, and I don't know, flash forward 6 months later, something like that, or a year, and we have a new enemy. The Green Goblin is alive and well. He's being kept at Ravencroft in a straitjacket, and the man in the little black hat shows up again. He showed up at the end of the first one talking to the Lizard, and he was like, "Did you tell him about his parents?" He's got like this weird voice, he's kind of like this. I'm kind of evil. He sounds super cartoony. It's funny. And he talks to Harry, and Harry's like, "Hey, I want to make a small group." And we're like, "Oh, okay, we know what's gonna happen." And then we pass through the Dr. Octopus arms and the vulture wings, and then we see this ugly rhino suit, which we've already seen in the trailers. We know what the rhino looks like. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, at least maybe we'll get a cool action scene. So Peter's all down in the dumps. He listens to a recording of Gwen's graduation speech, kind of brings him up. And he's like, hey, you should be Spider-Man again. And right when that happens, Rhino attacks the city, and he's got this hideous, giant, robotic rhino suit. It's weird. I don't... Who came up with that? I don't know. And he tries to kill all these people, and this little kid that Spider-Man saved earlier in the film shows up in a Spider-Man suit that he randomly had and tries to stop the rhino. And then, of course, we have this moment of, what would not happen in real life, and the rhino stops shooting, and he kind of mocks the kid for long enough for Spider-Man to show up. And Spider-Man shows up, and he's like, hey, kid, good job, I'm back. And then Rhino's like, hey, okay, you ready for this cool action scene? Spider-Man's, sure, let's do it. So we rev up, we got the slow-mo going, and like, oh, man, this is going to be a great finisher. Oh, cut to black. What happened? Well, in the film's defense, when I first saw it, I was disappointed, but I understand now. It's a teaser. This whole movie is just a teaser. And if you see it like that, you'll enjoy the heck out of it. It's got a fun comic feel to it. There are parts that drag on slightly, but it picks up right away. And overall, I think it's a fun film, and it's the type of Spider-Man film that we kind of wanted this whole time, not like this overly bloated, emotional kind of drama. There's a lot of those things in this film, but in the end, when you look at the full picture, you had fun. I totally had fun. So I'm going to give this film a solid 7 out of 10. That's pretty generous because a lot of other reviewers have been pretty darn harsh on this film. And I don't believe that it deserves that kind of rap, because you can tell there was effort put into this. And I just pray that the third one is better than this one, because if you can say this was better than the first one, then you have to say the third one was better than this one. And they're going to bring something big. So comment below. Tell me what you thought about the movie. I appreciate you guys listening to my ramblings. It's just something I like to do. But make sure to tune in. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. It might just be random podcasts about how I feel about things. But yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys later.